In the late 40s, my parents moved from Detroit, Michigan to West Chicago, Illinois, and my dad took a job for Wheaton College, and they became involved in a new church start called the West Chicago Bible Church. After we were there for some time, when I was about 5 years old, Pastor Frost, the pastor of the church, invited a man named Gaylord Smith, a children's evangelist, to come and speak to the church. And all of us children sat up front, and the adults sat in the back. And at the end of his message, he asked, as was the custom in those kinds of churches, anyone that felt that they needed to accept the Lord to raise their hands. And I did that. Well, then they went on, as was the custom, and those who had raised their hands were supposed to come forward. Well, being a timid 5-year-old, I did not want to do that. I have a feeling, though, that my mother was peeking during the invitation and saw me raise my hand, because sometime not long after that, she explained the way of salvation to me, and I accepted the Lord at my mother's guidance in our family home. I marked my salvation from that point, and when I was 10 years old in 1954, in August, I followed my commitment by being baptized, and again it was Dr. Gene Frost who did that, and that's basically my testimony.
And from there you continued, and how did you surrender into the ministry?
There came a point where an appeal was being made at a Youth for Christ rally, and we were challenged to commit our lives to the Lord. And that was the time at which I think the Lord began to use me. Not long after that, when I was a junior in high school, it would have been February of 1960, I did my first sermon, a lesson for the youth group on the Sunday just before Valentine's Day. And I count that as my first sermon back in 1960. And I've forgotten how many years that is, but it's around 40 years, so 40, 45 years. And in fall of 1970, I went to Moody Bible Institute, and I told the Lord that that I was willing to go into the ministry if He wanted me to. And so I was called to my first pastorate started in May of 1976.